Morning, morning, morning. Hi guys, I'm in the lounge again. It is a bit echoey in here. I don't really know why it's echoey, but it just is. Defending Elvis Presley, fans want the truth. Who we got on? We have Satlin, we have Teresa, we have Colleen and Philomena. Hi guys. So the time here is, let's have a look. It is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I woke up a bit late today, later than normal. I said I was going to pick a topic. I read through loads of messages, and I just thought we need to go through some of these messages. I keep getting so many messages. So I thought we'll read some messages, and then we'll see if a topic comes from the messages. So I hope you're all well, guys. Got me coffee? We need a coffee, don't we, guys? We need a coffee. Hi, Sherry. So I hope you enjoyed the live last night. I knew that YouTube were going to copyright me because I played some soppy songs during the funeral procession. Was it? We had a gospel song. We had "My Way." I think it was "My Way." They didn't like, so it doesn't matter because all you do, you ask YouTube. Let's have a look. You ask YouTube to trim out that section. Let's just tell. All right, so Lorraine just sent me something. So let's just tell Lorraine we're live. Let's see what Lorraine has sent. Lorraine just sent me.
Delighted to say, I'm joined by somebody who knew the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, like a few other people in the world.
Come on, we'll play a bit of this.
Married Elvis in 1967. They were married for 6 years. She remained a constant in his life, despite all.
Right, so this is a different interview. This is Lorraine just sent it me, and she basically says that about people accusing Elvis of being racist, which we know is a complete joke. So, okay, we can go with that. There's a few things I'm going to mention anyway. Right, so before I do that, bit of a coincidence, someone else sent me, let me just find it. Someone else sent me a thing about Elvis, the possibility, what to say if Elvis is accused of being racist. So let me just see if I can find that. Let's have a look. I think as I've sent all you lot things now. But someone else sent me. I don't understand why people, even for a second, think that Elvis was racist. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Literally no sense to me at all. Just so far from the truth. Come on, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And we know how heavily influenced he was by the black community. We know how kind he was to his fellow neighbors in Mississippi Tupelo. So to even for a second, here it is. It was from Stacy. Now Stacy said, this is what to say if anyone calls Elvis a racist. So she forwarded that to me, and it says, the colored folks been singing it and playing it just like I'm doing now, man, for more years than I know. It got it from them. It's basically Elvis saying clearly that the song, the type of music that Elvis was singing was being sung by the colored people decades and decades before Elvis come along. So that's Elvis proudly boasting on behalf of the colored community that he wasn't the originator of rock and roll. And I think Elvis always admitted that. And it's the same as like when people called Elvis the king. He always said, I'm not the king, there's only one king. I personally don't think Elvis liked being called the king. What do you think, guys? So this just shows the kind of man that he is. Yeah, he didn't want to take all credit for rock and roll, for rhythm and blues and jazz and all that. He didn't want to take credit as the king because he knows in his mind, a very religious man, who loved the Bible. The Bible was his favorite book. Elvis knew that he was no king, yeah, and many of us call him the king, but it's not a religious thing. It's not a religious thing. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that video. Let's see if I can get my stand so that it's not so wobbly, and I'll top up my coffee while I'm there. 1 second, guys. Right, got me coffee back. I got this because it just makes it a bit easier when I play videos. And I've raised the laptop up a bit as well, so that when I'm replying to your comments, I'm not looking down like that. I'm trying to get the comments more directly in front of me. Let's just read your comments. Yeah, the race thing has been spoken about for years, Sherry. It's for years. It's just ridiculous. How's Colleen? Okay, Lorraine, we're going to play your little Piers Morgan clip in a second. Hello, Louis. I've switched off the 68 comeback special to come and watch you. I gave up Elvis watching for you, watching your live stream. Thank you, Lorraine in Australia. Lorraine, you guys know, is an avid Elvis fan, and she does help me. She sends me loads of great stuff. A lot of you do. A lot of you are sending me brilliant stuff. Well, the thing that I tend to do is I watch all of it, and I wait for something that's going to make my heart skip a beat. If something makes me go, ooh, I like that, then I go into it. And I didn't have that this morning. So this morning I thought we're going to do a bit of a free-for-all. Now, the race thing has been on my mind, actually. So now that Lorraine, it's almost like she's read my mind. Now that she sent me that clip that I'm guessing talks about the whole race thing. I'm not doing a video about race. I'm gonna jump around on topics because I definitely do want to talk about your comments today, because I've had some brilliant comments. So let's have a look. Let's get this video up. I'm hoping that this thing I'm holding is going to make my arms not wobbly, because the problem I got is I'm trying to play you stuff, but then my arm's doing that. I don't want that to happen. So let's get on Lorraine's comment. Let's have a look. So how is everyone this morning? Anyway, did you enjoy the live last night? I thought we had a bit of fun last night. I know it was quite a serious, emotional one, but I also thought it was pretty good. Right, Lorraine, let's have a look. Where are we? Hang on, let me just... Right, okay, so... All right, Lorraine's comments disappeared. Lorraine, you know the Piers Morgan thing you just sent me? Let's have a look. Aha, got it. Got it. Let's get it on widescreen.
Welcome back. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by somebody who knew the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, like a few other people in the world. Priscilla Presley married Elvis in 1967. They were married for 6 years. She remained a constant in his life. Despite all the controversies, she remained loyal to him to the end. Priscilla joins me now, live from Los Angeles. Welcome to you, Priscilla.
Thank you, Piers.
Priscilla, I was just imagining that the movie is just exhilarating and fantastic. I want to play a clip first and then come to you. Priscilla, I found it unbelievably exciting to watch this, and I never knew Elvis Presley. You were married to Elvis Presley. What was it like for you to watch this movie? Not least because there's a character, of course, playing you.
Hang on a second, guys. Great question. I'm just going to move this laptop across and see if I can, let's have a look, stand the camera up in front of you. It's an experiment. We're going to give it a go. So the camera is directly in front of me, and we've got this, because I'm just trying to stop the whole wobbly arm thing. Let's have a look. Look at that. And then we go a bit more forward, down a bit. Let's get a bit nearer. I'm experimenting, guys. Okay, that's a bit better, isn't it? I mean, it's never going to be perfect because it's on a phone. Okay, and we just got to press the play button.
Oh.
Try again.
Oh. To be honest with you, I was very nervous about it because of Baz Luhrmann. And as we all know, Baz, has his own unique style, which is good. But I just didn't know how he was going to portray Elvis. And I was concerned, very concerned. Baz wanted myself and Jerry Schilling, who used to work for Elvis, to go to New York at the Mets Gala, and also to go to Cannes Film Festival. And I hadn't seen the film yet. So I bowed out gracefully and said, there's no way I can see it because obviously I don't know anything about what you're doing. So he arranged a screening for Jerry and I at Warner Brothers. And we didn't speak for, I guess, 3/4 of the movie. And I bent over and said to Jerry, well, it looks like we're going to Cannes. It was good. It was good. I have to say, I was completely engrossed in it as well as Jerry. Austin Butler did an amazing job. It was, he had Elvis down to a T, literally. He studied him for 2 years.
You see, that's fascinating because I just assumed he had him down to a T. You would know better than most because Elvis is such a unique performer. People have tried to emulate him over the years, I think, with varying degrees of success. Do you think Austin Butler has got him better than anyone that's ever tried?
Hands down, better than anyone. My daughter.
Let's pause that. Let's just pause that. I'm going to sort of chop into it a few times. So I ask you guys, do you think Baz Luhrmann's Austin Butler version of Elvis had him hands down? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I love the film. It's a great film. Loads of pizzazz. It jumps through the different decades of Elvis's success story. Obviously, starting when he was a child. But I'm not saying this to be insulting. But I didn't think Austin Butler looked anything like Elvis. Now, I do think he captured Elvis's energy. He captured Elvis's spark. And how can I say? Can I put it in words? There was like his spirit. Yeah, I do think Austin Butler did that. And we know that Austin Butler, they reckon, was rehearsing for as long as 2 years. To get that role, once he got the role, but also before he got the role. And Austin Butler, as far as I can tell, sought out that role. He wanted that role. Yeah. Who told me, what was the name of the actor that put him forward for the role of Elvis in Baz Luhrmann's film? I'm just trying to remember his name. Guys, you tell me his name. He's brilliant actor. Oh, what's his name? It's gone out of my head. Do you, any of you guys? Denzel Washington. That's it. Thank you. Straight away, you lot all jump in. and you know. But can I just ask you guys, before I carry on, do you think Austin Butler looked a lot like Elvis, or was it just me? Because I personally don't think he looks anything like him. But I do love the way he played certain parts of him. Not all of it. There were some bits in the movie that I wasn't that keen on. You tell me, guys. Yeah, Gio, he's got a great voice, hasn't he? He does have a great voice. He can, he can do the job, can't he? Hello? Weetabix. All right, just 1 second. I'll be back. Right, I'll put this on play, and I'll come back. And actually, I've remembered now. I've done a few clips on the movie, so I'm going to bring them up after this as well.
Saw it as and went, my God, I mean, he just, it was like watching Elvis. His movements, his smirk, his walk, his attitude, his temper. I mean, it was like reincarnation. I mean, it was beautifully done, beautifully.
And Olivia de Jong plays you. Were you happy with that portrayal?
Yes, I was. I mean, we never talked. Baz did all the talking, of course. But I thought she did a very nice job. She was sensitive to him, which I was always to him, and his needs and what he was, trying to do with his life and what he wanted out of his life. So I thought she did a very nice job.
Elvis was, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant talents that the world of entertainment has ever seen. That's unarguable. He was also quite a controversial figure in many ways. Do you think he would have survived this weird cancel culture that we now have to endure?
Wow, that's a good question. I think of that often. What would Elvis think? He wouldn't believe what is going on right now to this country or to all over what's happening to this planet. He was very concerned about our presidents, who was ruling the country. And people would never believe that, but he was an avid reader as well. And not just, religious books, but also he was reading what was going on in the U.S.
What would he have made you think of what is currently going on in the U.S.?
I'm sorry?
What would he have made you think of what is currently going on in America?
Oh, no, he wouldn't believe it. I mean, he truly, I don't believe it. I don't think any of us believe what's going on right now. We've never been through anything like this, and it's pretty much global. But us as a country, it's baffling. It's truly baffling. I'm, for the first time, worried about my future, for not only my children, my grandchildren as well. Very unpredictable, and Elvis would probably go to the president, like he did with Nixon, put his foot down and say, what's going on?
What is it that you find particularly saddening or worrying?
Oh, my gosh, the state that we're in. I mean, my gosh, I don't know.
I'm going to
freedom. I don't know if there is freedom here.
I'm going to pause that. No offense, guys. I'm not interested in Priscilla's political views of the world, of the country. They completely do not interest me. But just carry on talking about the Baz Luhrmann film. There was a few bits. Because look, the film got a load of praise. It was a massive success. It was a financial hit. It made Baz Luhrmann a worldwide, well-known name. Yeah, but and we know everyone's talking at the moment that he's found some footage of the concert of some of his concerts, and he's going to re-release that footage. It's footage that has never been seen before. Yeah. So he, to some guys, Baz Luhrmann in the Elvis world is a hero. Yeah, do you agree with that, guys? No, he did. I do believe that the Elvis film brought in tens of thousands of new fans. Let me just check your messages. He brought in tens of thousands of new fans. Many of them very young, many of them teenagers in their 20s and 30s. And I also think, the original fans that had stopped being so interested in Elvis had a spark reignited in them because of the Baz Luhrmann Elvis film. Suddenly, fans that were always fans were back. I do think a lot of that happened. But there's plenty of things in that film that I don't like. I definitely don't like the way that Gladys is portrayed as a drunk. I don't like that. I personally don't think Gladys was a drunk. That's just my opinion. I do think she may have used alcohol for medicinal purposes. She definitely was very unwell. We don't really truly know the illnesses that Gladys had, do we? Not really. The doctors, things were different back then. So I don't think anything was ever correctly diagnosed with Gladys. We don't really know what actually caused Gladys's death. I know that they say, diet pills, and there's some kind of blood condition and heart and lung and liver type problems, but we don't know, do we? We know about this alpha-1 thing that has been spoken about in Sally Hoddle's book. Even now that's been disputed. The book Destined to Die Young, even that's disputed now. So we know that Dr. Forrest Tennant's book, he has his views on the medical problems. So my point is, there's things in the Elvis Baz Luhrmann film that I'm not keen on. I even think once they go down the road and they show where he goes into his taking prescribed medication period, I'm not completely convinced with that. Even the way that Priscilla is portrayed in the Baz Luhrmann film, well, she looks nothing like her for a start. I will say that. That girl, no offense to her, looked nothing like Priscilla and didn't even act anything like Priscilla. I would say that the Priscilla character in the Baz Luhrmann film was so far from Priscilla in her personality, in the way she looked. Even she hardly spoke, did she, in that Baz Luhrmann film? What do you guys think of the Priscilla that was in Baz Luhrmann's film? Please go ahead. I'll just read your comments. So, yeah. So many of you think that it wasn't a broad enough film, wasn't it? It was loosely based on the book Elvis and Me, wasn't it? So it didn't really have any ex-girlfriends like Linda or Ginger. It didn't have any of the Smiths in there. Not in the right way, anyway, in my opinion. Now, look, Philomena, I understand that Lisa Marie loved that film, and I completely get it, because it was the first film that boosted Elvis's image back up again, and the way that Austin Butler portrayed him, in the way he looked and dressed and moved and sang, all of it just made us all realize, oh my God, how amazing and fantastic Elvis was. But now, a couple of years later, I can reflect on it and see it differently and see, actually, do you know what? Many things were left out. There were certain things, in my opinion, that shouldn't have been brought into the script. So, we've all got different opinions. Yep. I think Satlin has said it was an impossible task. Yeah. Playing Elvis is an impossible, it's hard to get it right, isn't it? But, we are pleased with Austin Butler's, Baz Luhrmann's version of it. But it isn't, I would give it a 65%. There's much more to be done, because we as Elvis fans want to see Elvis portrayed all the good things. And I just don't think that repeating the same story over and over again, which is what they basically did. Let's face it, guys. It's loosely based on the book Elvis and Me, isn't it? And you know that Baz Luhrmann wanted to be in there with Priscilla, didn't he? He really, for him, Priscilla and Lisa Marie being on board with this film was very important to him. That's clear. You can tell that from he goes and meets them. Obviously, Austin Butler meets them as well. He wanted a very close connection. And I do think that Baz Luhrmann knew that getting Priscilla and Lisa Marie on side was critical to the success of that film. I'm sure you guys will agree that. I love his interview with Sam Bell, the guy that grew up with Elvis in Tupelo. Yeah. You know, and Sam Bell would talk about how they would sneak into the cinema. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's referring to Tupelo. If I'm wrong, please let me know. So I can see that Baz Luhrmann behind the scenes really took this film seriously. He did, didn't he? And I think it's changed Baz Luhrmann's life. Now, I will say this. I do now think that Baz Luhrmann has been pigeonholed into Elvis now. So I think Baz Luhrmann's going to struggle having success with any film unless it's Elvis related. And I do think that's a problem for him. Even Austin Butler, I will say, because he did such a good job, is going to struggle with his other movie roles because people just keep seeing him as Elvis. So they've both got a bit of an uphill struggle here. And I can see there's a lot of pressure from Elvis fans for Baz Luhrmann to release the outtakes of the original Elvis film that he made. And we know about this concert footage that he found whilst doing his research, and the fans want to see it. So let's just check your messages. Yeah, what you're after us. It was very pizzazz. It was very psh. So we had, I love, some of you say that you weren't that keen on Tom Hanks's version of Colonel Tom Parker, but I quite liked it. I actually liked Tom Hanks in it. Elaine, hi Elaine. Yeah, that's possible. Come on, at the moment, I think people are distancing themselves from Priscilla at the moment. And she released a video last night, didn't she? Someone sent it me. Let's have a look. I might play that in a minute. Let's just keep reading your comments. So Satnam was a massive act to try and portray. He gave a good go with the script he was given. No film about Elvis will ever be perfect. It's not him, even himself, like the documentary stuff. Austin stars in a motorcycle movie talking like Elvis. I haven't seen that, Gio, but come on, is Austin Butler? Don't get me wrong. I love Austin Butler. I think he's great. A brilliant man. Lovely to listen to. Speaks so fondly and highly of Elvis, and really did feel that he'd connected with Elvis, even spending a night at Gracelands, I heard. So I've got nothing bad to say about Austin. If anything, I'd like to see him play Elvis again in another film. But they didn't nail it. They didn't nail it. I like Baz so much, Elaine. But he doesn't look like Elvis. He does not look like Elvis. He got the moves good. He got the actions, even his voice, spot on. But it ain't Elvis. But he's definitely a great guy. And we know that Lisa Marie loved him. Let's just go back to more of your comments. Let's have a look. Right, so Sherry, he didn't look like Elvis. His energy and mannerisms and the way that the action movie had brought life to the younger generation who never really listened and thought about Elvis is about, yeah, definite. He definitely relaunched Elvis, I think. That movie, Baz Luhrmann's movie, Austin Butler, was like a rocket into space that relaunched Elvis and brought Elvis back. This is why we're not happy with the Priscilla film by Sofia Coppola, because all the good that was done by the Baz Luhrmann film, even though I am critical of that film, I felt a lot of it was ruined by the Priscilla film from Sofia Coppola. Really do. And come on, guys, we all know that film should never have been made. Priscilla by Sofia Coppola should never have been made, and we know that Lisa Marie did not want that film made. We know about the email sent to Sofia Coppola. Also, we've heard that behind the scenes, Priscilla and Lisa Marie were arguing about the making of that film. Lisa Marie did not want Priscilla involved in that film. And I think there was a possibility, this is just an opinion, that Lisa Marie was threatening Priscilla with legal action if she went ahead with her involvement with that film, Sofia Coppola's film, Priscilla. I don't know that. It's just an opinion. A few of you have also said that to me. And then when the film was finally released, obviously, God rest her soul, Lisa Marie had passed, and Priscilla still went on to promote that film, and that infuriates all of us. As fans, we are infuriated that Priscilla went ahead and promoted that film, and many interviews where Priscilla tries to pour her heart out and keeps saying that Elvis is the love of her life, even though that film portrayed Elvis in a very bad light and did a lot of damage to Elvis's image and reputation. But she sat there proudly saying that she still loves him. The one good thing is that she admitted that she had never had sex with him, that it was not a sexual relationship, which is good, because that shuts up all the people trying to call him a paedophile. That's the one good thing that she did. Right, let's have a look. I'm glad to know that the movie brought new fans and mainly Lisa enjoyed it. Yes, I know. I've seen the interviews and Lisa Marie loved Austin Butler, absolutely loved him and was very proud of that film and literally could not believe how great that film had turned out and the success it had had. And she felt it had exonerated her father from all the rubbish that was being said about him for the last 30 plus years. So I completely take that on board, guys. I know it. Now, but I do have views on the film. I've always said it to you guys. I like the Kurt Russell film. The Kurt Russell film is the one that does it for me. What is your favorite Elvis film? I thought he was pretty good. So Arnie, are you new to the channel? Welcome to our Team Elvis. This is Team Elvis here. We're here to defend Elvis Presley. The name of the channel is Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. Introduce yourself. Are you an Elvis fan? Thank you for joining us. Have you joined us before? So I thought he was pretty good as Elvis. Don Johnson made a fool out of himself. Kurt Russell was great. Do you know what, Arnie? Look, the Don Johnson film, it is a bit ridiculous that he's playing Elvis. I accept that. But I tell you what, if you're an Elvis fan, and that is based on his relationship with Linda Thompson, yeah, who was with him for 4.5 years. We know that it was a complicated relationship. They were together every day for a year. After that, Elvis had other girlfriends, and many of you have strong views about Linda Thompson. Some of you love her, some of you hate her. Many of you think that she took advantage of him, but many of you think that she was a brilliant girlfriend and saved his life and was there for him. Many of you think Linda Thompson has been really good in her interviews and always been true to Elvis and never painted Elvis in a bad light. Obviously, we know she was at Elvis Week. So I like that film. And I'll tell you why, because it really does go into detail about how Elvis met Linda Thompson. Don't forget, it was just breaking up from Priscilla. And then it shows how they were dating, where they were meeting, and how the relationship unfolded. So I actually quite like the film. Now, do I think Don Johnson looked like Elvis? Definitely not. And do I think Don Johnson was the right person to play Elvis? No, but I will say this. I liked the personality that comes through Don Johnson that plays Elvis. I think he gets Elvis's funny side and charming side. I think Don Johnson does get that, even though he completely looks nothing like him. So, you know, that's just my view. Did any of you enjoy that film, the Don Johnson one? I know it's very old. It's free on YouTube. Many of you have told me you can't stand Don Johnson as Elvis, but try and see past Don Johnson. Try and see the character, the script, and it's quite believable. And I actually think the girl that plays Linda Thompson is really good. I think she's great in it. So that's just my views, guys. Right, I'm just going backwards on the comments. Yeah, so Helen says, Austin portrayal of Elvis gave me boost cups. It was, even when I first watched it, you are a bit, wow, yeah, Elvis is back. You do get that. But I do think a year, 2 years after it, you start thinking, oh, actually, they could have done this, they could have done that. Maybe there was too much of this. Maybe they left that out. So you see it differently when you look back on it. But I know it was very good for Elvis. It was very good for his legacy, his image, his reputation. Hasn't Graceland's museum got a whole section on the Elvis Baz Luhrmann film? And I did post a little clip. Let's just get that clip up. I think I put it on my... Let's have a look. I just remembered that I posted this. So we're going a bit off topic a little bit because we were talking about whether or not Elvis is a racist, which is just ridiculous. But let me just get you that clip up. I think I only posted it yesterday. Let's see if it's going to come up. I think it's on my pictures. It's a very short clip. Very short. Oh yeah, another channel mentioned us last night. Here we go.
No, keep a step away.
Right.
And should I say it?
Right, it's very short. It's just people trying to find out if Baz Luhrmann is going to release this footage that he's got, of concert footage.
And should I say it? No, keep a step away from the microphone.
What's an Elvis surprise? Tell me.
I think that concert footage that we found is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Fans of the Elvis concert footage, it's going to happen.
There we go. So he's going to do more work. I sort of think he's forced to, because I think the fans are expecting it. And I think if he wants to make some more money, he may have to. So that's just my opinion, guys. So, oh yeah, we had another shout out on a YouTube channel. No, it was an Instagram channel and a YouTube channel that's called Defending Elvis EP. Defending Elvis EP. We'd given them a shout because we used a clip of theirs. Let's just see. All right, is it a silent one? Let's see if it's got any sound on it. Let's see if I can find it, guys. It's on Instagram. Let's see if it comes up. Let's have a look. Here we go. Right, so there we go. So I'll play you a couple of bits off it, actually.
And Defending EP, I love your YouTube channel and your Instagram. Excellent. And I highly recommend them both to you guys. So, and Defending EP, I love your YouTube channel and your Instagram. Excellent. And I highly recommend them both to you guys.
So
and Defending EP.
Let me pause that. So the channel is called Defending EP. Which got my attention, of course, because it's a similar name to us. But obviously, we're defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. And then he writes in it, please follow Louis' YouTube channel, Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. So thank you. Defending. Actually, it's just called Defending EP. Defending EP. It's on Instagram and YouTube. Should you just play a couple of clips of it? Let's have a look. Do you get a feel for it? Obviously, I can't play any music, unfortunately. So let's see what we can find.
Will he stay at your place at any time? Or?
Yeah, if he wanted to.
Stay over?
Yeah, my grandparents, they just loved him.
Yeah.
Right, so this is when Baz Luhrmann interviews Sam Bell,
Will he stay?
Who grew up with Elvis.
Will he stay at your place at any time? Or?
Yeah, if he wanted to.
Stay over?
Yeah, my grandparents, they just loved him.
Yeah.
He had better, he could go through the house better than we could. He'd go in there and get what he wanted, open the refrigerator and get what he wanted.
So your grandma really liked him?
Yeah, she really loved him.
Well, what did she like? Why was he like him?
Because he was so
like
man about it. You know, we was little mannish little guys, you know, but he was mannish too. But
what do you mean by that?
Yes, ma'am, and no, sir. See, during that time, if a black person didn't expect a white person to say yes, ma'am,
to be polite, to be
yes,
decent.
ma'am, thank you, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But he always did that, and she just loved it, and my papa did too. He just couldn't believe it. You know, you don't have to, but we would say yes, sir, too. But we had to go. We lived
Yeah,
it.
I get you.
Yeah, but he didn't have to.
And do you think that was because Do you think he even thought about it? He just, or the way he was
Yeah,
brought
just
up?
the way he was. You know, they kind of looked down on him a little bit.
Why? Because Paul? Stupid Paul?
Yeah, he was poor. And they didn't expect that from him, but he never lost his dignity because he was a little boy.
I love that, and I've done quite a few videos on Sam Bell. Let's see if. Right, so there's a section here with Larry Geller. I don't know what he's going to say. Let's just see what he says.
The truth is the truth, and I swore to God, to Elvis Presley, that I would tell the world the truth about his life. He asked me to. April 25th, 1977. And he said, man, Hollywood never got me. The media, they never got me. Some of my fans don't know certain things. I want them to know that I'm a spiritual person, because the world doesn't know I'm spiritual. They'll never get me. Spiritual. Listen to his music. He was the most spiritual person I ever met. I've met a lot of people.
I like that. Larry Geller. Now, you guys, I don't think Larry Geller is for everyone. I don't think he's everyone's cup of tea. But I like Larry Geller, and he actually replied to one of my messages once on Facebook. But obviously, Larry Geller was a very spiritual man. He introduced Elvis to many spiritual books. We know that the Memphis Mafia didn't really like him and felt that he was a bad influence on Elvis, but I think he's a great man. I think he was at Elvis Week as well. I think Rhonda did a show and she talks about that she watched Larry Geller's talking about Elvis. I watched Presley Mania's show last night. It was really good, Rhonda. And then I also, this morning, I watched Shauna's show. Both talking about very different subjects. But anyway, the point is that channel, Defending EP, I recommend it. He's definitely defending Elvis. He's releasing loads of clips. He's on Instagram and YouTube, and many of these clips are standing up for Elvis, showing Elvis in the correct light, defending Elvis. We want the truth. Let's just click on one here that shows Lisa Marie. I don't know what it's going to say. Let's just click on it.
Basically threw me out in the middle of the night. One night I get out. She drove me to the church one night and sort of dumped me off to them, and they were like, what do we do with her? It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was in hysterics because she threw me out. But I was actually happy about it because I got independent at that point. And
you see that, guys? That's going to get you going. That's let me just come down to your comments. That's going to get you going. Lisa Marie is talking about being thrown out by Priscilla one night. So I bet you got some strong views of that. Let me just read some of these comments. Elvis had respect for his elders regardless of race. Philomena, he sure did. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That's Elvis. Even there, Sam Bell talking about Elvis as a young boy, how respectful he was when he came into his house. And his obviously they're a coloured family, and they were surprised that a very young white Elvis was saying yes, sir, yes, and so polite to them because they weren't used to white people being respectful and calling them sir and ma'am. Obviously, this was the 1950s, so segregation was a big thing back then, which just appalls me, by the way. It just says it all about Elvis. He didn't see colour. He didn't see colour. He just saw people, and if people were struggling, it really mattered to him. And I think Elvis seeing people struggle bothered him till the day he died. He didn't like it. And this is part of the reason Elvis spent his whole life being so generous to complete strangers and so much for charity, because he felt that he had struggled himself in his life, obviously growing up in Tupelo, but also the earlier years in Memphis. And he wanted people to just not go through what he went through. So he helped where he could. Yeah, he's had such a kind heart. So I know the channel you speak of, Louis. Yeah, that it seems brilliant. I don't like to play other people's clips too much. A lot of the stuff on his channel, that I've done many videos. I've done over 4,000 videos, and many of the clips on this channel I've also done. but I just like the way that he's bunched them all together, and it's easy listening. It's easy listening. So should we just do one more? Let's have a look. Look, Anne Margaret. Yeah, should we see an Anne Margaret one?
I just cherish his memory, and so did my father and my mom and my friends, and I remember great times that we had, and his generosity, and
I know he sent flowers, and you knew that he was dead when the flowers didn't arrive, because you always got the flowers when you had a new engagement shaped like a guitar, and that was the day.
It was unreal. It was just unreal. But I remember.
It's still hard for you.
Because they're real private. And he was too.
God, that's quite... And you can feel the emotion in that with Anne Margaret. Come on, we all love Anne Margaret, don't we? All of us. But she's struggling to get it out. I think she's holding herself back from crying. Just so touching. And it's just, come on, she truly loved Elvis. And Elvis truly loved her. And this is what bothers me with the rubbish when they try and call him a paedophile. This girl was not 14 years old, yeah? I don't actually know Anne Margaret's actual age. Let's see if we can Google it. But I'm guessing she was definitely in her 20s. How old was? Let me just type it. Do any of you know how old Anne Margaret was when she met Elvis? Let's have a look. Yeah, 22. 22 years old. Obviously, she's stunning, beautiful, very talented, amazing voice, brilliant dancer, great actress. 22 years old. So anyone that says, this is what infuriated me about that stupid 60-minute interview with Suzanne Finstad talking about Elvis's fascination with 14-year-old girls. It drives me mad. It's so obvious that Elvis had many, many, many girlfriends over 20. It infuriates me. Anyway, I don't want to go off subject. Let's go back to what we were doing. Right, so let's have a look here. We were defending EP. Right, we're going to play one more. Let's have a look. Now, this one has got Priscilla in it. Let's just see. I know what it is. This is the Terry Wogan interview. I'm just interested to know why defending EP put it on there. Let's have a look.
Do you think it helped the perspective to reveal so many intimate details of your life together?
Oh, I don't think I revealed any intimate details as much as what I was doing is putting it back into perspective. I keep going back to that because obviously all the other stories that have been going around, the rumors for all these years, the books for all these years, for the past 8 years, in fact, I've blown everything out of perspective. And in my book, if you read it in its fullest, it speaks for itself. There is nothing in there that I feel, I think this is coming out, that I feel is very, just putting it back into perspective and making him a very normal person.
Well, he doesn't come through as a normal person in the book.
All right, so hang on. Let me just, I want to replay that again.
Fans, though, do feel. Do you
Right,
think it helped
so-
the perspective to...
Let me pause it a minute. Now, this I like. We've already done a live stream on this. The way she answers that question is wrong because Terry Wogan, the British interviewer, God rest his soul, because he's passed away. I can tell that he's not happy that she released the book Elvis and Me, and he's questioning her, basically saying you were disloyal and things in that book weren't right. I think he even questions her about Lisa Marie's reading the book. There's two clips here. I know what they are. I'm going to play them both, but in my opinion, she gets quite defensive. But I think Terry Wogan is right to press her on why she released that book, to say that it came across to the fans that she was being disloyal. So we're going to play this. Right, are we ready?
This is coming out that I feel is very, just putting it back into perspective and making him a very normal person.
But he doesn't come through as a normal person in the book. He comes
doesn't?
Through, well, no.
Well, normal.
Because,
Just 1 second.
For instance,
I got it. Okay.
good girl. For instance, I mean, you didn't have, you slept together but didn't have any sex together for something like.
Well, what's normal? What's normal? I mean, that was years ago. That was tradition, wasn't it? I mean,
but then in the book,
I think today what's happening is more abnormal than that.
Yes, but in the book you've also said that, for instance, after you had your first child, he wouldn't have sex with you because you were a mother.
Well, I think I explained that in the book.
Yeah.
No, but I think I explained that. I don't think he should be condemned. Sorry, this thing. Okay, can you hear me?
Do you think it helped the perspective to reveal so many intimate details of your life together?
Oh, I don't think I revealed any intimate details as much as what I was doing is putting it back into perspective. I keep going back to that because obviously all the other stories that have been going around, the rumors for all these years, the books for all these years, for the past 8 years, in fact, have blown everything out of perspective. And in my book, if you read it in its fullest, it speaks for itself. There is nothing in there that I feel, whoops, I think this is coming out, that I feel is very, just putting it back into perspective and making him a very normal person.
But he doesn't come through as a normal person in the book. He comes
doesn't?
Through, well, no,
well, normal.
Because,
just 1 second.
For instance,
I got it. Okay.
Good girl. For instance, I mean, you didn't have, you slept together but didn't have any sex together for something like.
Well, what's normal? What's normal?
So, I think that might have played twice, but I feel her being very defensive, and I feel him. He is slightly on the attack, but she deserves it. And to say that there was no intimate details in that book, I just can't agree. I've read the book. The way she talks about Elvis, and some of the things that she describes about him, I don't like it. Makes him look bad, makes him look like a paedophile for a start. But it also makes him come across as a very selfish, angry person. I just don't like it. So she tries to defend her book by bringing up the fact that other people had brought out these books, these tell-all type books, like the Memphis Mafia, the tell-all book, Elvis What Happened. But there was other books as well, wasn't there? But I think her book did the most damage. I know someone tried to defend that book the other day, but I'm telling you guys, I personally think that the Elvis and Me book, in my opinion, has done a lot of damage to Elvis. And the fact is, the same story has been repeated over and over again, even in Baz Luhrmann's film. And obviously in the Priscilla, Sofia Coppola's version, and other made-for-TV movies that just make Elvis look bad. That is why it infuriates me that this book has been, and I've said this to you many times, it infuriates me. This book is treated like fact, like gospel, like actually happened, like history in the making. No, that's not what it was. Elvis and Me was Priscilla's version of events, completely from her point of view. Elvis had no say in that book. She had divorced Elvis for 4 years. When he died, 7 years later, she makes this book. How is that fair that Elvis is spoken about, mentioned? Obviously, this whole book is based on her relationship with Elvis, her marriage with Elvis, her engagement, her friendship, how they met. The whole book is. And then for her, but then for that to be then treated like it's a fact. And then these interviewers for the last 40 odd years have been interviewing her based on that book, Elvis and Me. I think it's really unfair to Elvis. I think it's almost unjust that Elvis cannot stand up and defend himself and go, do you know what? That isn't true. Elvis can't do it. Elvis can't stand up and go, well, prove it then. Prove the things you're saying. Prove the things you're insinuating. Because many of the things in the book she doesn't say. It's insinuated. Yeah? So, and I say this about all books that paint Elvis in a bad light. Unless you can prove the things you're saying, it's not fair to Elvis, and we're going to defend it. As Team Elvis, we're going to stand up and we're going to say, no, that ain't right. This is why I'm annoyed at Suzanne Finstad, the author of Child Bride, the way she talks about Elvis in such a horrible way. Over 20 years after she wrote Child Bride, she sits there on the news and calls him a paedophile. It just drives me mad. And then you got Sally Hoddle, the author of Destined to Die Young, just sitting there thinking that she knows everything about Elvis and telling us off as fans, telling us how to talk about Elvis. And that if we have opinions that disagree with hers, that we can't have them.
Elvis fans, though, do feel and have expressed the feeling that you've been very disloyal in the book.
Right, I understand that, and I feel I don't feel that way. I mean, I don't think many of the people here in the United States feel that way. The book has been #1 for 5 weeks. My daughter has read the book, in fact, not just once, but 3 times, and absolutely is ecstatic over it and puts, again, everything back into perspective. I think it's very painful what's been happening over there. It's not like that here. Have you read the book, Terry?
Yes, I have.
And do you feel that it's a disloyalty? I think that it makes him a human being. It makes him very sensitive. It makes him a person that one can deal with, and not this idol or this robot. I think it was. If people want to know what happened, it's in the book, and that's exactly what happened. I don't think I was harsh with him by any means. I dealt with it very sensitively. It's 4 years that it took for me to write this book, and I'm proud of it. And many people who knew him, the family and the men who lived with us at that time I've had nothing but great validations for it.
Elvis fans, though, do feel and have expressed the feeling that you've been very
right. Come on, guys. Tens of thousands of you Elvis fans who adore Elvis and want to protect Elvis and defend Elvis are not going to agree with that. And I just think, when she says, I'm proud of it, yeah, she clearly is. She's very, very proud of it, yeah? But of course she is, because it's written from her point of view, her perspective, her version of things. I personally think it's a rewriting of history. I think that she's rewritten history to fit her narrative, because there's a whole different story, right from 1959, right to the day he died. There's a completely different version. Even if we jump back to when she was unfaithful in 1968, just after Lisa Marie was born, to Steve Peck, the dance instructor, the guy who owned the dance studio. There's no mention of that, really, not really. There's a small, on page 262, it says, we had a brief affair. 5 words, yeah? There's another section where she says she couldn't stop thinking about the dance instructor. But my point is that she has written that book to make her look like she did nothing wrong, yeah? And that is so unfair to Elvis. That is so unfair. And the thing is, the tabloids, the magazines, the news companies, the documentaries, the biographies, the movies have all gone with it. So Elvis has had to put up with over 40 years of a story being told about him that is not correct, that is loosely based on events, that was completely drawn up for Priscilla's version, with no witnesses. Elvis was in his grave. So Elvis had no say in that book. It ain't right, guys. That's just my opinion. Let's just read some of your comments. She started the story about sleeping with her after Lisa was born to make her cheating accepted. Let's have a look. Her book, I will read. I want to know what she is saying. I also went to an evening with her in Manchester, and she was full of herself. I'm glaring at her, and I was in front of row, and she must have seen. Now, Lorraine, you'll find it. Find it on YouTube first. It is just Defending EP, all one word. Defending EP, all one word. It's mainly Instagram, I would say, is his. Let's have a look. Let me just pause this.
Elvis fans, though, do feel and have.
Let's have a look. I'll take a picture of it and I'll blow up the logo. This is for you, Lorraine, yeah? Because, you know, we've been playing a few of his videos. I think the least we can do is promote him and get you guys to jump over and subscribe to him. So, Defending EP, all small letters. So, as I was saying, I think Elaine said she's going to read the book. So she even admits at one point that Lisa Marie had read that book, yeah, and that she liked it. Priscilla actually says this, and I think this is around 1985, 6, 7, yeah. She says that Lisa Marie read the book and liked it. She read it 3 times. Now, I can't believe that, because in the book she admits the unfaithfulness to Elvis, and there's many things in that book that will upset Lisa Marie, and she says that Lisa Marie was proud of it. I don't think so. I just don't believe it. Let's have a look. So, okay, right. So, sorry, I'm getting a few messages. It's just, sorry, you guys are sending me some more info. So, the bottom line is, I'm not happy with the book. We've been talking about Baz Luhrmann's film. I did do a few clips of Baz Luhrmann's film. So I think we're going to jump back to that again. Let's just see if we can see some of my clips come up. So I usually type it in, Priscilla film. Let's just see if any of my shorts come up. Come on, do your magic. Let's see the shorts coming up, guys. So we've all seen the trailers, haven't we? Right, okay. Now remember, I just want to say this to you guys. When I made, actually, I'll talk about something quickly before I play these. Elaine, we've only been defending Elvis for 2 or 3 months. Now, it was the fans on my YouTube channel, my Elvis YouTube channel, that converted me. I was brainwashed, just like millions of others. I fell for the fairy tale. I fell for Elvis and me. I felt that Elvis and Priscilla had this lovely romance, and the reason it went wrong was because Elvis was unfaithful and Elvis had a drug problem. I believed that. I honestly believed that. So I started my YouTube channel a couple of years ago. So I'm just making loads of videos, mini documentaries and shorts, praising Elvis, praising Priscilla, just little stories, thousands of them, over 4,000. Now, what kept happening was this. I kept getting messages from Elvis fans saying, oh, do you know this about Priscilla? Do you know that about Priscilla? Do you know this about the Memphis Mafia? Do you know this about certain ex-girlfriends? So bit by bit, I started thinking, oh, there's more to Priscilla than I know. So then I started doing my research, and you guys were sending me research. And bit by bit, I had my mind changed by you guys, the Elvis fans. 100% you Elvis fans are the reason we are defending Elvis. You caused the name change. The name Defending Elvis Presley, Fans Want the Truth, came from you. If it wasn't for you guys sending me these messages and this information and research and documents, I was not going to be defending Elvis. You are the reason we are here. You, the fans. Yeah? So the reason I say that to you, because I feel that we have been brainwashed for over 30, 40 years. We've been spoon-fed lies for 30, 40 years. And you guys forced me to open my eyes and see the truth. You guys. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for that. So when I play you these clips, you may notice that I have no problem with Priscilla in some of these clips because I didn't know. But I'll tell you now, guys, I am 100% defending Elvis Presley now, and I've got quite a few of you to thank for that. So I just want to be honest and open. Guys, jump back and watch my shorts and my videos, because there's over 4,000 of them, and I think they're pretty good. So that's right. So I ask you one question, guys. Did you lot get brainwashed by Priscilla and the book Elvis and Me? Had you lot been spoon-fed lies? Did you fall for it as well? And have you now changed your mind and see Priscilla in a different light? Please comment. Elaine, I agree. There is the defending Elvis thing is growing fast as well. And there's many jumping on board as well. So I'm proud to be part of it, guys. Proud to be part of it. And I do promote other channels. I'm not a standalone channel, me. I will talk about other channels like Defending EP, like Presley Mania and Shauna or Rare Elvis Photos. I will proudly talk about them. I hope it's a two-way thing. I hope other channels mention us, because it means a lot to me. So, Colleen, I see it, Elaine, and I think the Elvis movie started it with a younger generation that didn't know how much. Yes, I agree with that. The Baz Luhrmann film brought in a much younger generation, which is brilliant. So, Jane is one that thought it was a fairy tale marriage. Elvis was humble. Elvis was humble, even if he was a mega famous. And that is Ariane Guian. Ariane, are you new to the channel? Welcome to Team Elvis. Team Elvis are here to answer any questions you have. And together we defend Elvis Presley. So welcome to our channel. So that is Ariane. Obviously, please subscribe. Please join. Snowbird, how are you today? Okay. We got Chloe. Hi, Chloe. How are you? I'm just saying hello to the people that have jumped in. Tracy Keenan, Tracy, no disrespect, Louis, but men can be quite gullible when it comes to a pretty face. I am a man, and I know that. Tracy, men are, no offense to the men watching now, but we're pretty basic, guys. Men are pretty basic. A pretty face gets our attention. Obviously, if we're married, I'm a completely loyal, faithful husband. I've been with my wife for 19 years. I would never be disloyal to my wife, but I notice someone when they've got a pretty face, or if they, I'm a man. Yeah. So yes, you're correct, Tracy. Let's have a look. So we've got, sorry to keep losing Wi-Fi over the mountains. All right. So Sherry's got a Wi-Fi problem. Okay, right. Let's gonna just play a few of these clips. Hi guys, so I'm going to do a quick review on this Priscilla film. I've watched loads and loads of clips from it, and I'm convinced that it's a very, very good film. The acting in it is excellent. The sets are amazing. I think you get to see a whole different side of Priscilla and Elvis that we haven't seen yet. You get to learn a lot. And I just think the production of this film is excellent, and it doesn't run down Elvis as bad as everyone thinks. It actually paints Elvis in a good light and shows some of the darker sides of Elvis, and it shows that Priscilla could be difficult at times, but it also shows how much in love she was with Elvis. That's the reason I gave my little speech just now about my views were completely changed on Priscilla is for that reason there, what I've just played to you. Obviously, I hadn't watched the film when I did this review. What I'd been sent about 30 clips of the film. So I didn't really know the storyline. I just knew each clip. And I was impressed with the sets, the build. They did an amazing set in Australia. I was impressed with the way they all dressed. I was impressed with the settings in, where they had the cafe setting where Elvis where Cary Grant meets her. I was impressed with when she first meets Elvis in his house for the first time. Obviously, it's 1959, and he's in this house that he's rented in Germany. So when I first was watching all these little clips, I thought, wow, this film's great. Yeah. It wasn't until I watched the film, which was probably about 4 or 5 months after I made these clips, when I found an app where I could watch the film. I hated it. I thought it was a terrible film. And then later on, I go back and I redo my review, saying just how much I dislike the film. Because I honestly think that film really does paint Elvis in a really bad light. I think it did a lot of damage. I also think that the Baz Luhrmann film, it did so much good. The Elvis Baz Luhrmann film did so much good. But then this film comes along and just trashes Baz Luhrmann's film. So the point is of what I'm saying is, guys, is that 3 months ago, there was no defending Elvis. There was me just carrying along, brainwashed, carrying along, believing everything I'd read about Priscilla and Elvis, believing that the Elvis and Me book was correct. And the more we got into this channel of defending Elvis, then more of you were coming on and admitting that you had been fooled, that you had fallen for the fake romance. Many of you didn't know about Steve Peck, that Lisa Marie had this affair with the dance instructor, the guy who owned the dance studio, just months after Lisa Marie was born. You know, I mean, Priscilla Presley had this affair with the dance instructor just months after Lisa Marie was born. Let's get my facts right. So bit by bit, when we became defending Elvis, which I'm so glad we did, because I personally think it's been really good for me as well to defend Elvis, because he really needs it. He really deserves to be defended. And it completely changed a big direction. And for many of you guys that are subscribers and Elvis fans, even you have been convinced now that there has been thousands of lies told by Priscilla, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. And even you guys are saying to me, yeah, I was fooled as well. I was fooled as well. I thought Priscilla was had done no wrong. So are any of you here, will any of you here admit that you also had your minds changed, that you had fallen for the fake romance, the fairy tale? Is there any of you here? Elaine's birthday on Monday. Hi, happy birthday to Elaine for Monday. Colleen, I know. But I'm just, yeah, so Colleen admits. So how many of you admit that you'd fallen for the book Elvis and Me and thought it was all real and true? Oh, we love, come on, we're also defending Lisa Marie. We're also defending Lisa Marie. We love her. Lisa Marie is here in our hearts. And do you know what? Now that you say that, Tracy, I want to do some more stuff about Lisa Marie. I do. I might make that my next live, a Lisa Marie live. Just pick out loads of clips from Lisa Marie and let's talk about her. So, yeah, Jean admits it. Yeah, she fell for the romance too. Elvis channel opened my eyes. Elaine, never brainwashed. I am old enough to see what was doing in the newspapers. All right, okay, that's good, Elaine. But do you understand, Elaine, that many people fell for it? So Colleen says, I didn't know about the Steve Peck. This is such a nasty thing to do right after giving birth. No man would want to touch her after that. Again, we've got this thing where with the Steve Peck thing that it's been put out there, and it could have been Priscilla. We don't know, do we? That Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a child. It's ridiculous, guys. It's rubbish. Elvis has slept with women that's had children. There's two that we know of. One was Suzanne Henning, and I think the other one was Deborah Lee. But that isn't the point. She had been unfaithful in 1968, just after the baby was born, poor Lisa Marie. And of course Elvis wouldn't touch her. Why would Elvis touch Priscilla, if she's just had a baby and being unfaithful to the dance instructor, why would he do that? So then poor Elvis had to put up with the next 40 years of being spoken about that he wouldn't touch a woman that had a child. And I know that a few of you have commented that he may have said it earlier on in his life, in the 50s, maybe the early 60s. Well, of course, yeah, he was not far off being a teenager, was he? In the 1950s and 60s, he was in his teens and his early 20s. So, yeah, of course, he don't want to sleep with a woman that's 40 years old. Yeah. So his words are put out of context. Now, when I was 19, did I want to sleep with a woman that has had a child? No, because I was 19. It doesn't mean that I meant I was not going to have sex with a woman that's had a child for the rest of my life. That's just ridiculous. So things get twisted, put out of context. So, do you know what, Elaine? People, you know, you say, I'm sure Steve Peck was Gregory Peck's son. And this is a disputed thing. Some of you say he was, some of you say he wasn't. If you Google Steve Peck, it says he was 39 when he had this affair with Priscilla Presley, but it doesn't say that he was Gregory Peck's son. So I have a feeling it wasn't Gregory Peck's son, but some of you will dispute that. Now, please let me know what you think. Let's have a look. I thought some other things, some extra movies got right. Hi, Michael. You okay, my friend? Right, let's have a look. Let's see if we can just get some of your other comments. I will reply to everyone after the live finishes. Yeah, and you can do that. I think you can go into the messages. You get two sections. I don't know if you guys know this. You get the comments that you guys add on the video. But if you scroll across, you can slide the wording, the comment section across. There's two little black dots. If you slide across, you can then look at the live stream conversation, but you do have to wait 24 hours. It won't give you the live stream conversation till the day after. So if you guys want to add comments to the live stream section, I think it has to be done the day after. But if you want to comment on the actual live stream video, I think you can comment straight away. I'm no expert. Let's have a look. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go now. It's been 1 hour and 20 minutes. I finished my coffee. I'm going to do another one. I've got quite a free day today. So I'm probably going to do a Lisa Marie. Just do a live stream. We're going to just chat about Lisa Marie. Some bits and bobs, some interviews, some old stuff. I'm still going to come back and do... I still got to do part 3 of the medical history of Elvis's medical problems. We still got part 3 of that to come. There's stuff that is coming out with the Michael Lockwood situation. I want to talk more about that. I also want to talk more about the Bridget Cruz trial. As far as I know, Bridget Cruz has sacked her lawyers. As far as I know, Bridget Cruz has sacked her lawyers. And I did watch Presley Mania last night. I thought that was a great little video about her at Elvis Week. Jump over and watch that. Shauna did quite a long live stream last night. I watched that this morning. I found that very interesting. You know, Shauna's always fun to watch, isn't she? She makes me laugh. She's hilarious to watch and also can be very serious. So I watched that this morning. So jump over there, give them a watch. Yeah, Elaine, yeah, come on, jump on. Even in London, jump on. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a nice morning. No particular topic, just general chit-chat about Elvis coming from our hearts. Team Elvis, together, we rock, taking care of business. And there's no standout thing I want to talk about at the moment. Every now and then a standout topic will come up and I'm on it. But at the moment, I'm going by your comments. So the comments you're sending me, I'm reading them and I'm reacting. Thank you for the YouTube and Instagram channel, Defending EP. Thanks for letting us use some of your clips. Really appreciate it. Jump over, give him a subscribe. Or it could be a her, yeah. I'll be back. We're coming back. I got a free day, guys, so I'm going to do a few live streams today. Thanks a lot. Take care. All the best. Sending you love. We're out of here, dudes. Right, I'm going to give you a wave. Please subscribe, guys.